The echoes of battles past reverberate through time, shaping the course of history and civilization. The rhythm of war drums, the clash of steel, the cries of combatants, and the silence of the fallen have been the symphony of our collective past. These are not mere events confined to the annals of history, but the crucible in which our world has been forged and reforged. Battles in their brutal and unvarnished reality have defined nations, redrawn the borders of continents, and dictated the rise and fall of empires. They've been the fulcrum around which humanity's story has pivoted, altering the narrative of our species in profound ways. They've birthed heroes and villains, sowed the seeds of peace and war, inspired great literature, and been the canvas for some of the most iconic art in human history. From the ancient world to the modern era, these epic clashes have left an indelible mark on our shared history. Our journey begins in 490 BC at the plains of Marathon, where the Greeks made their stand against the Persian invasion. In the heart of ancient Greece, a battle was brewing that would reverberate through the annals of history. The Persians, a formidable force, were on the march, their sights set on the city-states of Greece. Yet standing in their way was the city of Athens, determined to defend their lands. The Persian force, numbering in the hundreds of thousands, was a sight to behold. They were met by a Greek force a fraction of their size, the Athenians joined by their allies from the city of Plataea. Despite the odds, the Greeks held their ground, a testament to their courage and their conviction. The Greeks devised a brilliant strategy. They would lure the Persian cavalry onto their ships, then attack the Persian infantry. This tactic, though risky, worked. The Persian cavalry was effectively neutralized, leaving their infantry vulnerable. The Greeks seized this opportunity, charging into the Persian ranks with ferocity and determination. The Persians, taken by surprise, faltered and fell into disarray. In the end, the Greeks emerged victorious. The Persians were driven back, their invasion thwarted. The Battle of Marathon marked a significant victory for the Greeks, a victory that would boost their morale and strengthen their resolve. But the Battle of Marathon was more than just a military victory. It was a triumph of strategy over sheer numbers, of determination over fear. It was a testament to the power of unity, of a people banding together to defend their land and their way of life. Moreover, it was a pivotal moment in Western civilization. It marked the beginning of the end for the Persian Empire and the rise of the Greek city-states. It was a turning point, a moment that would shape the course of history for centuries to come. The Battle of Marathon, a testament to the bravery and strategy of the Greeks, was a pivotal moment in Western civilization. Moving forward to 1066 AD, behold the fields of Hastings, where the fate of England was decided. Our tale begins on a brisk October morning. Two formidable forces stood on either side of the battlefield. On one side, the English army led by King Harold Godwinson, a man known for his tactical prowess and unwavering courage. On the other side, the Norman invaders from across the English Channel, led by the ambitious Duke William of Normandy, aspiring to seize the English throne. The English soldiers, weary yet determined, formed a shield wall at the top of Senlac Hill. Their strategy was simple: hold the line, defend the high ground. The Normans, on the other hand, armed with a diverse force of infantry, archers and cavalry, had a more complex plan. They intended to break the English shield wall with volleys of arrows, followed by charges of heavy cavalry. As the day wore on, the battlefield was a scene of chaos and bloodshed. The Normans feigned retreats to draw the English out of formation, and the English, in their overzealous pursuit, fell into the trap. Time and again, the Normans exploited this tactic, gradually wearing down the English forces. The turning point came late in the day when an arrow, by chance or by fate, struck King Harold in the eye. The loss of their king shattered the morale of the English forces, and the shield wall finally broke. The Normans seized this opportunity, and by dusk the Battle of Hastings was over. The aftermath of the battle was a poignant sight. The English forces lay scattered across the battlefield, and Duke William stood victorious. This victory paved the way for the Norman conquest of England, a transformative event that brought profound changes to the language, culture, and governance of the country. The Battle of Hastings, a turning point in English history, forever changed the cultural and political landscape of the British Isles. Fast forward to 1863, to the rolling hills of Gettysburg, where the course of American history was forever altered. Here, in the heart of Pennsylvania, Over the course of 3 sweltering days in July, the Union and Confederacy clashed in what would become the most lethal battle of the American Civil War. The Battle of Gettysburg was not merely about territory. It was a battle for the very soul of a nation divided. Under the command of General Robert E. Lee, the Confederate Army, emboldened by recent victories, sought to take the war into Union territory. Opposing them, the Union Army, led by the newly appointed General George Meade, stood as a bulwark against this southern invasion. On the first day, the Confederates, with numbers on their side, pushed Union forces back through the town of Gettysburg. The Union troops, however, secured a strong defensive position on Cemetery Hill, setting the stage for the conflict that was to follow. The second day saw fierce fighting at locations now etched in the annals of history: Devil's Den, Little Round Top, the wheat field. The Union lines held, but at a dreadful cost. Then came the third day, a day that would forever be remembered for Pickett's charge. Some 15,000 Confederate soldiers, under the command of General George Pickett, marched across open fields towards the center of the Union line on Cemetery Ridge. It was a daring move, but one that ended in disaster for the Confederacy. The Union forces repelled the attack, resulting in heavy Confederate losses. The aftermath of Gettysburg was grim. With over 50,000 casualties, the fields of Gettysburg were stained with the blood of American brethren. Yet, the Union victory provided a crucial turning point in the Civil War, halting Lee's northern advance and rekindling hope for an eventual Union triumph. The Battle of Gettysburg, a watershed moment in American history, marked the beginning of the end for the Confederacy. Our journey ends in the winter of 1942 in the besieged city of Stalingrad, where the tide of World War II was irrevocably turned. In the icy grip of winter, this industrial city on the banks of the Volga became the stage for one of the most ferocious battles ever fought. The Battle of Stalingrad was a grueling contest of attrition, with both the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany unwilling to yield an inch. The German forces, under the command of General Friedrich Paulus, initially advanced rapidly into the city. They believed victory was within their grasp, but they underestimated the resolve of the Soviet forces and the brutal Russian winter. The city's name bore the moniker of the Soviet leader, Joseph Stalin, and thus surrender was not an option. The Soviets, led by General Vasily Chuikov, employed a strategy known as hugging the enemy, keeping their forces close to the Germans to limit the effectiveness of the Luftwaffe and artillery. They waged a war of attrition, drawing the Germans deeper into the city and stretching their supply lines thin. As winter set in, the conditions became brutal. Soldiers fought in temperatures that dropped to -30 degrees Celsius. Food and ammunition was scarce, but the Soviets held on, their resilience bolstered by the knowledge that their city, their homeland, was at stake. In November, the Soviets launched Operation Uranus, a counteroffensive that encircled the German Sixth Army. Cut off from supplies and reinforcements, the German forces were slowly but surely ground down. By February 1943, General Paulus surrendered, the first German field marshal ever to do so. The Soviet victory at Stalingrad was a significant psychological blow to the Nazis. It marked the first major defeat of Hitler's forces and began a series of Soviet victories that would eventually lead to Berlin. The Battle of Stalingrad, arguably the most brutal battle in history, marked a turning point in World War II and signaled the beginning of the end for the Third Reich. Battles in all their brutality and chaos have shaped the world we live in today. In our journey through time, we've witnessed the Battle of Marathon, where the underdogs triumphed, setting the stage for democracy as we know it. We've revisited the Battle of Hastings, a clash that forever changed the English language and culture. We journeyed to Gettysburg, a turning point in a civil war that defined a nation's character and ideals. And we've braved the bitter cold of Stalingrad, a testament to human resilience in the face of unimaginable odds. These battles have not just altered the course of rivers and borders, but also the flow of human thought, culture, and progress. They've underscored the indomitable human spirit, the quest for freedom, and the price we've paid for the world we inhabit today. As we remember these epic struggles, we are reminded of the cost of war, the courage of those who fight, and the enduring power of history to shape our present and our future.